behaves themselves, and there's a resource-based economy, and there's no greed and fear. How? How? Are people just going to wake up and become nice in society? No, societies are inherently strange and, in my opinion, not conducive to being a true human being. That's just a little thing about what left brain is and what right brain is. Again, it's a metaphor. This isn't a proven fact. It's just that we have all these qualities, and we have all those qualities, so they call it left brain and right brain. And they say, the right brain is in charge of the left side of your body. Anyone heard that before? Yeah. And I'm left-handed, so yeah, fuck you. Yeah. What we are primates. We are apes with overclocked CPU graphics card brains hurtling through the Milky Way at 400 trillion miles an hour or whatever it is. You are here. That's where you are in the Milky Way. At the center of every galaxy there's a black hole, and what black holes do is they suck up everything and then burst out at either end, creating new galaxies themselves. So it's a novelty generator following the Fibonacci sequence, the golden spiral of life. On the cosmic scale, all the suffering in Africa, all the Rothschilds, all the killing, all the arms industry are utterly meaningless. A black hole, because we can't really see them, could come out of there, pass through here, and wipe out the entire galaxy, and we couldn't call it evil, it would just be nature. So there's a book called the Lucifer Complex. Strangely enough, I was talking about Lucifer earlier. The Lucifer Complex says that there is no such thing as evil. All we are seeing is a very local, consciousness-based working out of the universe. And in a way, it's kind of right, because what all the evil does, hurricanes or so forth, or the kind of man-made ones like Holocaust and genocide, they bring about change, they bring about renewal, the phoenix rising from the ashes. All evil brings about light, and that is the Luciferian doctrine, the morning star. But I don't believe that anyone, because to women and children in Iraq, it's very real, and it is very real, they're suffering. And it's never ever fair to impose on another person to bring about your own version of reality, and that's what I think we need to remind the government right now. One of my heroes, Martin Luther King, he did a great speech when he was a Christian pastor or minister. I'll forgive him that. But he did a great speech about God and how no matter where he is, who's attacking him, who's plotting to kill him, and there was a plot and he was killed, his God promised never to leave him alone. And I want you all to remember that. You're never left alone. No matter if you're alone in the police cell, if you're in a concentration camp, you are with the universe, connected infinitely through your own heart. And he knew he was going to die. If you ever watch his last speech, he talks about the promised land and the mountain of equality. And he says, yeah, I'll probably not make it there with you, but I love you, and you'll never be alone. And despite Martin Luther King's best efforts, welcome to the flag, the true flag that we should have at the front there, because it is all our flag. It's the true flag of the world right now. Benito Mussolini, the Italian fascist dictator, he said the corporate state is the fascist state. Because it's machine efficiency. Corporations exist only to maximize profits in the shortest period of time, to hell with humanity. And it's a psychopath, it's a machine. There is no connection between human loving thinking in indigenous cultures and corporations. They will always be at loggerheads. And the best thing we can do, apart from firebombing McDonald's, is to not give them any of your energy, and do everything you can to prevent these things. Like if you have children, don't let them drink Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Don't, that's the true flag. The left brain and the right brain. The Matrix had it, a big common theme in Hollywood. And I love Hollywood films, there's a lot of magic comes out of Hollywood as well. The big common theme is man, I use man, I mean humans. The humans' terror that the left brain machine-like thinking will turn against us. But the reason why these films are so popular and they strike a chord so deeply is because are living in the times when the corporate machine is trying to take over. You've all heard the microchipping agenda. It's all out in the public. It's not even a theory. Microchipping, registration of birth, all these things is the machine trying to put you into a box, literally into a coffin. And films like The Matrix having the machines controlling man. There's something about government that machine psychopaths are the only people that can survive in government. They're the only people that can get to the top through backstabbing and through being inhuman. And David Cameron, he's a nice, fluffy, cuddly man. Definitely a psychopath. Definitely a psychopath. He would probably quite happily press the nuclear buttons to wipe out Iran, even though there's probably like 12 people in Iran who are a problem. He'd kill 55 million of them, or whatever the population is. So the reason why Hollywood talks about the big issue between left brain and right brain, between man and machine, is because it's happening everywhere, all around us. London right now, to me, looks like an open prison. Her Majesty's open prison, London. You can't walk without seeing these CCTV cameras everywhere. And one of my rules is, wherever you're being filmed, film back. Film back. Take your own footage. I like this one. It's a kind of a depiction of the Big Bang. 13.7 billion years. And who knows what happened before the Big Bang? The Big Bang might be a sneeze. And everything of this is just the imagination of itself. And I was saying earlier how scientists, and they base all science on the Big Bang. Oh yeah, there's nothing, went bang, everything. Everything is possible, everything is believable, everything's unbelievable. But just be very careful with any cult or religion that'll try and tell you. And I think science is quite an interesting cult. It has its own dogmas, its own way of doing things. But I asked my flatmate scientist, he's a computer expert, I said, why do things, everything, why do things want to get more complicated? Why do they? Why get more complicated? Didn't have an answer. Yeah, so why do things want to get more complicated? Well, Einstein says everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. But my favorite quote from Einstein, which I couldn't find on the internet with his face, is reality, he said this, he did the maths, prove it, showed his friends. He says, reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And the illusion is persistent, because if we saw through the illusion 100% of the time, you would just move to Tibet and sit in a mountaintop and not do anything about things. A lot of people get mad at me because sometimes I get quite revolutionary in my thinking. I sometimes think, I make jokes about Fireball and McDonald's. But I like to think that if we were all in World War II France, with our friends and family getting put onto trains to go to concentration camps, I would like to think we would all be part of the French resistance. We would all do everything we could to kill train drivers and blow up trains that were going to take men and women and children away to camps to be exterminated, because when the machine comes for you, you need to be prepared. So right now in Britain, there's no need for guns, there's no need for armed revolution, because it's a consciousness war. None of our boys are being forced to join the military, they are being tricked into joining the military. But what works for them can work for us. We can use our minds and our power. But if the shit does hit the fan, and it always might, we must be prepared. We need to ask ourselves, what would we do, when we're explaining to our grandchildren when the machine men came? What side were we on? What did we do? Did we collaborate, like some of the French did in the Vichy government? Or did we do everything in our hearts to fight it? And I've made up my mind, and I hope it never comes to that. And I hope if we can keep it lighthearted enough, it would never come to that, because it's not helpful to anyone. But part of the thing of being a human, in order to remain human, you have to choose your sides sometimes. And also, the optimistic heart, changing perceptions. I used to be very scared of the police state. I used to be very terrified of the whole CCTV tyrannical stuff. It's a horrible story, but I got arrested a few months ago, and up until then I wasn't on the DNA database. And I managed to avoid it for as long as I could. Even got arrested a few times and avoided it. But then the police sergeant and his cronies told me that if I refused to give my sample, and what they do, they humiliate you, they open your cheek, stick a cotton swab in you like a dog, like an animal. And I said, no, I'm not doing it.